What's up guys, Ninth Jim here, back with another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video, and today we are looking at Slowbro-Galar, or Galarian Slowbro, however you want to say it. This Pokemon is pretty interesting, and I'm kind of surprised I'm covering it so late. This was one of the poster boys of the DLC Isle of Armor, and it's a cool Pokemon. It has pretty low usage stats, but I think it's pretty strong. It's essentially like an alternative to Hatterene. It's a very good synergy with Indeedee female, being able to set Trick Room as well, and also just has expanding force and, you know, shell sidearm, which is cool. This Pokemon has some pretty interesting stuff, quick draw as well as shell sidearm, some unique stuff to itself, also a pretty unique typing. I believe it's unique completely, and pretty interesting stuff. So yeah, it's cool. Anyway, today we are going to be covering a VGC build, a doubles build, a singles build, as well as speed tiers and damage calcs. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. It means a lot. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about it. So, Slowbro-Galar, poison psychic typing, interesting typing, giving us 3 weaknesses of ground, ghost, and dark, and then 4 resistances of grass, fighting, poison, and fairy. A decent typing overall, not insane, but, you know, decent. It's pretty good. Talking about its stats, speaking of decent, we have HP at 95, which is pretty good, defense at 95 as well, which is pretty good, and then special defense at 70, which is a little average, a little below average, not bad in general bulk, especially for physical, not bad at all. And then we also have 100 attack and special attack. Unfortunate that they're both into attack and special attack, so we don't get to like really hone in on one, but you know, it gives you variety or variance, or you know, diversity, whatever you want to call it, to be able to attack with either attack or like physical or special. We went with special though because I think its move pool is better. We have access to expanding force, which is just an amazing special attacking move right now, and yeah, so we went with special attack. And then last but not least, and it has actually its least you know, stat, but speed. We are at 30. You know, barely outspeeding Pokemon like Hatterene, which is good and bad. Once Trick Room is up, then it's bad, but before Trick Room, it's good. You know, Shell Sidearm does a lot of damage to that, so, you know, that's a good option. Being at 30 speed, we do outspeed a lot of stuff with Trick Room, so this could definitely land on a hard Trick Room team, or even in just a team with a Trick Room mode, so all of that is pretty viable for this guy. Anyway, that is going to be it for our overview. Let's move on to the VGC build. So as far as our build goes, we are running the ability Quick Draw. You also have access to Regenerator, which is really strong, but it is stronger in singles. It's still obviously very good. We see it on things like Amoonguss, but Quick Draw is pretty interesting, and I really want to focus on Quick Draw for this build, since, you know, you can always just go for like, I feel like regular Slowbro is better for just a Regenerator bulky Pokemon, but it's a different typing, and it's kind of just like a different Pokemon completely, so, you know, it is what it is. But we ran the ability Quick Draw. What it does is you have a 30% chance to gain +1 speed priority when you use a move, which is pretty solid. 30% chance is pretty good, and then when you pair it with the item Quick Claw, you get an additional 20%, so it checks for a 20% and then a 30%, or the other way around. Either way, they don't add. I believe it's separate checks. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I believe it's separate checks. It might be 30% plus 20% of that, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of hard, kind of weird math, but I'm pretty sure they do stack, and I'm pretty sure you get 2 separate checks. So 30% and then 20%. It's very solid. It's kind of like if you're like paralyzed and confused, you'll get a check and then a check. So that's pretty interesting. So it can potentially be insanely fast with quick Draw and Quick Claw, giving it that +1 speed priority, which is really cool. Obviously, it won't affect Trick Room because it's -7 or something. Is it -7? Is that correct? -7 speed priority? Maybe it's 6 or 5 or something. But yeah, it's really bad speed priority. So if you Trick Room, you know, you're not going to be able to go first. But it's still cool to have it nonetheless, especially for things like Expanding Force and Shell Sidearm. Very, very strong moves, and if you get that +1 speed priority, it could be absolutely insane. Anyway, so you don't have to go with Quick Claw. However, I keep messing that up. Quick Claw. So yeah, you could also go with other options. The main reason I'm not using Psychic Seed for this exactly is because Psychic Seed will usually land on the Indeedee set. However, Follow Me, Focus Sash is really good as well, so, you know, you can mess around with that. Psychic Seed is a good option for Slowbro-Galar, as well as Choice Specs and Weakness Policy. Weakness Policy works really well with Dusclops being able to use Bulldoze. That's a really good synergy. And Choice Specs is just good for this Pokemon in general. Obviously, you won't really want to be clicking Trick Room or Protect with that, but, you know, you have you know, a good bit of items that you can use for Slowbro. Even like something like Life Orb, giving you that really good flexibility to Dynamax or not, which is really good as well. Anyway, that is it for our items. Let's move on to some moves. So for the actual build, the move set I used is Shell Sidearm, Expanding Force, Trick Room, and Protect. This is really similar to how we've seen Hatterinis be played with Indeedee, using, you know, 2 stab moves and then Protect and Trick Room. We've seen things like, you know, Mystical Fire really dying off, being opting for that Trick Room, Protect, dual stab. And I think that's really strong on Pokemon like this, especially with Trick Room, Protect, and then you have dual stab, which is really good. Shell Sidearm is a really interesting, unique move that hits for whatever is going to be doing more damage. It's usually going to be special attack since we're invested into special attack. But, you know, if your opponent is like super specially bulky and goes for like a Calm Mind or something, then you will be hitting physical, which is really interesting. Shell Sidearm is a really interesting move, and I definitely think it's good. It's also, you know, stab, poison, pretty solid damage output. It's the same as Sludge Bomb, I believe, so it's pretty good. And then we also have Expanding Force. I shouldn't have to explain Expanding Force. You pair this with Indeedee, and Expanding Force is just hitting so hard. You can even double Expanding Force, Trick Room, Expanding Force, Follow Me, Trick Room, Follow Me, Expanding Force. So much that you can do, and it's really cool. And then last but not least, Protect. I love this move. Like, you know, how can you not? It's Protect. Like, what else do I have to say about it? You know? Anyway, so other moves, other options that we have a pretty deep, diverse move pool with a lot of coverage moves and even a couple of good status inflicting moves like Yawn and, you know, things like Nasty Plot. So it definitely has a really wide array of moves that you can use. So if you don't really want to opt for Trick Room, if you want to go with like a different kind of Trick Room setter, or if you want to not use Trick Room at all in Slowbro and just go for like Quick Draw, Quick Claw, then, you know, you can change that out for some of these moves. Something like Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Mud Shot, Scald, Muddy Water, Bulldoze, even if you want to activate your own like Rhyperior's Weakness Policy. It could be a really cool thing, and there's a lot of things that you can do with this Pokemon since it has so much coverage moves, so many coverage moves. Very good stuff. And then, like I said, we also have Yawn and Nasty Plot. We've seen things like Snorlax opt to have Yawn on its set before, and, you know, that's not very outlandish for this Slowbro to want that as well. And then we also have Nasty Plot. I mean, +2 special attack on a special attacker. Sounds pretty good to me. So yeah, I like it. Anyway, that's going to be it for the moves, the flex moves. Let's go ahead and talk about the EV spread I chose for this Pokemon. So it's very basic. We haven't really done many calcs for Slowbro, so it's just 252 into HP, 252 into special attack, and then 4 into special defense. And then we went with Quiet Nature, giving it plus special attack and then minus speed, just so it can be as slow as possible while also having the best damage output possible for its special attacking moves. We see this same kind of setup on things like Hatterene, which this is kind of just like, you know, an option, a different option opposed to Hatterene. It's a very similar synergy, and it's probably what you'd be wanting to go for most of the time that you bring Slowbro, is for that Indeedee Slowbro synergy. Anyway, that is going to be it for the VGC set. Let's talk about a couple of synergetic Pokemon real quick before we move on to speed tiers. So first off, we have Indeedee. I shouldn't have to explain this much more since I talked about how powerful of a synergy it is a few times. Activating the Psychic Surge, no more priority moves. Quick Draw, Quick Claw, I believe just doesn't activate. If it activates and then negates, then tell me that in the comments. But this is the most common synergy on like Pikalytics and stuff for Slowbro, so it should work, right? If not, then I feel like I'm a complete idiot. If not, I'm probably a complete idiot if it doesn't do that. That would be why you don't play Quick Claw. Anyway, we'll see. You know, somebody will correct me. Somebody will correct me in the comments. So if that's you, then thanks in advance. Anyway, it is a really good synergy. It stops those priority moves, so no fake out. You still get to set Trick Room. You have priority. You have Follow Me, Trick Room. It's really good. You also have just really strong expanding forces. What if it does fail with Quick Claw? Now I'm actually really curious. I have to play this Pokemon on some Showdown today. I will probably be doing that later. but we will see. Anyway, really good synergy. I think it's strong. It also has Helping Hand, which is very, very powerful for its calcs, and I'll show you once we get to the damage calcs. Every single thing that it's like Helping Hand and we kill. It's really cool. Anyway, next we have Dusclops as our last synergy. You know, it's just another Trick Room user. You get Trick Room, Protect on Slowbro, and then you max it with Weakness Policy, and you go Bulldoze with your Dusclops, and boom, you have a +2 Weakness Policies proc to Slowbro, hitting really hard. It's super slow because Bulldoze also -1 speeds it. It's a cool synergy. It's something I'd like to explore, and yeah, it's cool. Anyway, that's going to be it for this section. Let's talk about some speed tiers. So we are pretty fortunate as far as speed tiers go. We are pretty slow. We're on the same speed tier as Snorlax, so if we're minus speed hindering as much as possible, we do hit that 31. Which is pretty solid. It is unfortunate we are 1 speed point faster than Hatterene, so Hatterene is still going to be faster than us once Trick Room is set, which they will definitely be wanting to do against your Slowbro-Galar. You know, they'll probably go for Follow Me, and then Trick Room, and then your Slowbro-Galar is like, alright, Expanding Force, do like 50%. You're not going to kill it, and then it's going to try to kill you, but they're probably not going to kill you, so then you kill it. So it's probably still an alright matchup. That sounded like a lot of rambling. It still should be an alright matchup. Other things that we outspeed are Dusclops, Torkoal, Ferrothorn. Not a lot of Pokemon down there. Also Pinsirchin, which I think is a bit of a sleeper right now. I think Electric Terrain could be pretty cool. Anyway, things that we do outspeed after Trick Room is set, or things that outspeed us before Trick Room is set. Just about everything. Gastrodon, Rhyperior, Conkeldurr, Clefairy, Mudsdale, all of those mid to slow to fast Pokemon, you know, all of them are going to be outspeeding us. We are down here at 31. There's only like 3 to 4 relevant Pokemon underneath us as far as speed goes. So, yeah. Really slow. A lot of stuff's going to be outspeeding us. Not much more to say. Let's move on. Damage calc portion. This is pretty exciting. There's a lot of really big damage that we can deal out, although there are a lot of defensive calcs that will kill us. So, you know, you got to be careful. But anyway, first off, some upsides. So Sludge Bomb from our max special attack, Quiet Nature, special attacking Slowbro. Sludge Bomb into a Togekiss, the most common defensive spread, 228 HP and 12 special defense. We are hitting 66.6. Ooh, yikes. To 79.3%, which is a guaranteed 2-hit KO. Not too bad, not too great, but with Helping Hand, we are hitting 98 to 117, which is an 87.5% chance to OHKO. They follow me, we're like, yeah, alright. Oh, and by the way, this is Shell Sidearm, Sludge Bomb. It does the same damage output, but yeah, we changed it in the thing. We don't really have to. It's Shell Sidearm. Anyway, next we have Shell Sidearm into Rillaboom, the most defensive one, 252 HP. They usually won't have special defense unless they're Assault Vest. If they are Assault Vest, I probably should have ran that calc. Anyway, so into it we are hitting 90 to 108. There's other builds other than the Assault Vest build, definitely. And then we're also with Helping Hand hitting 137 to 162, which is a guaranteed OHKO, which is very good as well. Next we have Helping Hand into... No, actually, without Helping Hand. So, and once again, this is Dazzling Gleam. I changed it in the thing. It's Expanding Force in Psychic Terrain. Everything about it is different. It is Expanding Force. We are hitting 79 to 95% into the Amoonguss, which is not enough to kill, but with Helping Hand, we are hitting 120 to 142, which is enough to get a guaranteed OHKO against Amoonguss, which is a very problematic Pokemon. And if it's not ran mid-speed, then you will have to be, you won't be able to Helping Hand. You'll have to follow me into your, like, safety goggles, Indeedee, or something like that. So, yeah, be careful. Be careful around Amoonguss. Anyway, next we have Dusclops Bulldoze into our Dynamax Slowbro, hitting only 6.5 to 7.9%, which is a very, very small, possibly the worst move ever. Only hitting a very small amount to activate that weakness policy and make us slower. Pretty good stuff. Like I said, that's a really powerful synergy. We've seen that with Rhyperior and stuff before. So, you know, who's to say this is better? Probably not better, but still a really cool option. Next, we have Excadrill High Horsepower into our Slowbro. We do live it most of the time, but, you know, if it's Life Orb or it maxes, which it probably will be maxing, it takes a pretty decisive OHKO. But if we Dynamax and they Dynamax, then we're alright. Same with the next Calc, Tyranitar Crunch into our Slowbro, only hitting 72 to 86%, which is a guaranteed 2-hit KO, but if it Dynamaxes or Weakness Policy is activated, it, once again, is just knocking us out. So yeah. Not the greatest defensively, but there's only a couple of weaknesses, and, you know, it's not too bad. That's going to be it for our damage calcs. Let's go ahead and move on to single spotlight real quick. So single spotlight, once again, is not going to be differentiating too much from the standard of what you would expect. Regenerator, black sludge, just being able to heal itself back up a little bit. Regenerator, whenever you switch out, gain a third back. Pinch berry, eat up, very good stuff. Next we have our moves, shell sidearm, psychic, our dual stab, and then we have nasty plot as well as move of choice, which we went for flamethrower. You can definitely change that to a different coverage move, but nasty plot I think is really strong. Your opponent's repositioning, you nasty plot up, you can then regenerator later and then come back in, nasty plot up. It's pretty good. I think nasty plot is pretty strong on Slowbro-Galar, so yeah, I like it. Then we also have our EV spread. It's pretty basic. It's just 252 into HP and 252 into special attack, very similar to our other one, but we did not min speed it, we just went modest. And then, like, 31 IVs into speed, and then we will put our leftover 4 to defense. Nothing too outlandish here. But yeah, that is going to be it for our video today. In sum up, I think Slowbro is pretty solid. I don't think it has a great positioning in the meta with a lot of stuff like dark and ground Pokemon just running around. I don't think it has the best. Also, I think Hatterene is going to be most likely better than Slowbro. I think I pronounced Hatterene 3 different ways today in this video. I think I said Hatterene, Hatterene, and Hatterene. Fun fact. Anyway, I think Hatterene will be a little bit better than Slowbro in most cases, but I still think Slowbro is worth considering and looking into for your team. I think it's a really cool Pokemon. Anyway, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go down in the comment section right now, say, hey, nice vid, or anything, whatever you want to say. Just go down in there, comment something. Also, like, subscribe. It makes a huge difference, and it warms my heart. Also, follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, and yeah, do all of those things. Have a great next 2 months, and goodbye.